Hello, and welcome to Building Your LinkedIn Brand, fundamental ways to have a knockout LinkedIn profile. Today, we're going to be doing a very general overview about why LinkedIn matters and how to set up your LinkedIn profile. If you're interested in a more in-depth analysis about how to set up your LinkedIn profile and some more information on that, please visit my other videos. If you enjoy what you're watching today, make sure you like and subscribe. So first is first, why does LinkedIn matter? LinkedIn's a platform that allows you to be a social influencer. Now, social influencer is a term that gets tossed around a lot these days, but really what it means is that you're online and you're making an impact and you're connecting with people and you're having a voice on a platform where you're connecting with more than just your immediate friends and family. Hundreds, thousands of people, employers and recruiters, and you're advertising yourself and your personal brand, all your skills and your expertise. You can communicate that through LinkedIn. And you're telling people in a professional way who you are, how you do your tasks, and what you've done to get where you are now. All your achievements, your skills, your degrees, all of those things advertise you on LinkedIn. So, is LinkedIn important? Does it result in callbacks from recruiters or employers? And as you're looking at this chart here, you'll see that it does. Entry-level, mid-level, and managerial level roles have much higher callbacks for people with comprehensive profiles. A bare bones profile, it varies to no profile at all, and that can be for a couple reasons, but most likely recruiters and employers see a bare bones profile and they notice that an individual is not putting the effort into advertising themselves, so why give a callback? It's actually better to have no profile if you're not going to put the effort into it, but the best option is to make sure you have a profile and it's comprehensive. You quite literally double your chance of receiving that callback if you take your LinkedIn profile seriously. So let's talk about the components of a LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn headline is one of the most important aspects of your profile, especially when it comes to the search engine feature on the back end for recruiters and employers. You want to put keywords up there about what you do as a professional. We have an example over here from Rebecca Wissinger. She's a global marketing program manager focused on employee advocacy and elevation through social media. So why is this important? She's first off telling you what she does. She's a global marketing program manager. And at work, how does she communicate her skills and what does she do with them? She focuses on employee advocacy and she elevates that through social media. So there's a lot of keywords here that if a recruiter puts in, an individual who's a program manager, Rebecca's gonna pop up. A program manager for social media, Rebecca's gonna pop up. Those keywords are incredibly important. And just as another example, let's say you're somebody who's going into accounting. If you're going into accounting, make sure you have the term accounting in your headline. You can be an aspiring accountant or an aspiring accountant and CPA. Use the words in your headline that will help recruiters find you. Also, we're talking about location here. When you're looking for jobs, the most important thing is that you're getting a job in the area that you live or that you want to live in. So also below your headline, you'll see that you can put a location here. Rebecca has Austin, Texas, United States. Why is that important? So let's say you do live in Austin, Texas, and that's the only place you want to work. Make sure that you have that location set, because if somebody's hiring in the Fort Worth or Dallas area and you're unable to commute there, you don't want to have recruiters who are hiring in those positions. Try to recruit somebody from Austin, Texas who's not willing to move or relocate. Now, let's say you live in Austin, Texas, and you want to work in Boston, Massachusetts. Put Boston, Massachusetts as your location. That way, when people filter through profiles, it'll come up Rebecca Wissinger, Boston, Massachusetts. So they'll know that you want to work there or that you live there. It doesn't really matter either way, because if an employer or a recruiter really likes you, they'll help you get relocated. The other thing is, you want to make sure that if you're open to work, you're sending out that bat signal. Put it up in the sky. Now, there's a few ways on LinkedIn that you can do this. I know some people, when they're open to work, they don't want their current managers to know. They don't want their other coworkers to know that they're searching for a new job, that they might want to leave. And that can be for a number of reasons. So make sure when you go to your profile and you select that you want to find a new job, and you can list your titles for, locations. I think it's up to 5. You want to decide how bright that bat signal is. So you can go super bright up in the sky and everybody can see, and you can put hashtag open to work on your profile. You can even post your resume. Or if you want to stay a little quieter about it, you can say that you're open to work and you can set it on the back end so that nobody sees it except for recruiters or employers. Now, that's not saying that, somebody who works in HR at your company may not be scraping for open jobs and you might appear. There's no guarantee on that, but to the public-facing eye, nobody will know that you're open to work except for those recruiters and employers. And this is a really key aspect of looking for a job on LinkedIn. So the other thing about LinkedIn is you want to make sure you get connected. So why do you want to get connected? First off, you want to make sure that you have a minimum of 500 connections. The more the better. LinkedIn is really one big social networking site for the professional world. You want to make sure that you connect with people who work in your field, who work in a field you might want to transition to, who work in roles and jobs that you want promoted into. You want to connect with groups and you want to connect with organizations who are connected to your professional goals. Make sure that you're connected with individuals that are in your career path. You want to stand out. And when a recruiter finds your profile and they see that you're connected to people who, work in your field, it makes you look like a more well-rounded professional. So please keep that in mind. And while we're talking about connections, let's talk about social media in general. Make sure that your personal social media accounts only share information that you would be comfortable with an employer seeing. Some people take the route of all social media is incredibly private and locked down. Other people make their social media somewhat professional, somewhat bland. And it's okay if you're someone who uses social media to share things, but keep it locked down if it's not something you'd want an employer seeing. Sometimes your social media can impact you receiving a job or a callback, so make sure you keep that in mind. So let's talk about your profile photo. Profile photos can vary for all people, and you really should have a profile photo that would fit you with your future team or current team. But for example, you'll see on the left, we have one beautiful woman here, and I have her labeled as marketing manager. She looks warm and welcoming, but you can tell she's modern with the times, and that's an assumption that you can make, but that's the kind of profile photo you would see for a marketing manager. Below her, you have another beautiful woman, and I have her labeled as an artist. She appears to be in overalls and a t-shirt, but she's waving and she's happy, and she looks like someone who would be creative and interesting. So maybe not just artist, but graphic designer or, architect. Anything that has to do with artistry, creativity, building, that's going to be a different profile photo than someone who's a marketing manager. Or for a stark example, beautiful woman down here, Foundation CFO. She's in a black suit jacket. She's got a collared white t-shirt, very, very formal professional in her profile picture, but you can guesstimate that she's working for a nonprofit. You can guesstimate that she's doing something on that formal end of the spectrum. So you want to make sure that your profile photo aligns with the team and the career path that you want to work with. Next up, use the About section of your profile to advertise you. Sum yourself up and let them know who you are. We have an example over here to the right of Desiree Thompson's profile. You'll see that she has 2 small paragraphs that are kind of talking about her memories in school, that she was talkative, and how that kind of propelled her into her current career. And so this is a very warm and a very welcoming bio. We'll go to the next slide, where we have an example from Guijo Matthew, who his is more bulleted, and that's okay. Everybody's bio is going to be different. In here he's talking about customer problems, scaling software, And you know the difference outside of them being two different people is the career paths that they're working in. He's a chief product officer. And we'll go back here to Desiree Thompson, talent acquisition. So talent acquisition is talking to people, creating relationships, warm, friendly, helping with that recruiting process. So her bio makes sense. Gijo, he's more tech, and that's how his is laid out, bullet pointed and to the point. So make sure that when you're summing yourself up in that about bio, that you're staying true to you, but you're also staying true to the profession that you're entering into. Next, let's talk about work experience. You gotta make sure you have it on there. This is gonna show your professional history in detail. And don't be afraid to cut items. Not everything from your work experience is relevant. And another really cool thing about LinkedIn is that if you're working at your current role and you've worked on a really cool project and you can put it under your projects and work on the LinkedIn section, you can actually link it to your current work experience. So when a recruiter comes and looks at your work experience, they can click on those projects that you've done and see how it directly correlates to your current profession. So if you want a video on that, I would be more than happy to break that down and show you all how to do it. But it's a really, really great tool that I think LinkedIn has recently updated. And also with work experience, don't be afraid to put in that volunteer work. Volunteer work is just as important as your professional, I'll say in air quotes, work experience. Volunteering and learning hands-on opportunities is one of the most key factors of people getting a job. Because maybe you haven't, worked with a budget in your current profession, but maybe you volunteer on a board where you're working with a budget and setting aside budget lines. Make sure you include that volunteer experience. Another really great thing is that your education matters on LinkedIn for a couple of reasons. So I have my alma mater up here, Shepherd University, NE Plus Ultra 1871. And the cool thing about LinkedIn and your education is, you can do your standard, put my education up. I got my degree this year. Here's the organizations and clubs I was in. Here's how well-rounded of a person I am. And all that matters. You can put your GPA up there and all those great things. And all of that's really important. But the part about connecting to education that's really cool is the LinkedIn tool that they have for alumni. So you want to type your school into the search box. Go to your school and you'll see that there's an alumni section right over here. Go down, type it in, click at the alumni on the top of the page, and then you have access to your alumni from the school. You can see where they work. You can see where they live. You can see where your connections are. You can scroll down and find the people and connect with them and get to know them. Connecting with an alum from your university can be one of the most essential networking tips that anybody ever gives you about LinkedIn. Please, please, please use this function, and there will be a video coming about how to use this more in depth. The last thing about your profile is, make sure you outline your skills, your recommendations, and your endorsements. You can have people you work with go in here and do a recommendation for you and say that, we have a great example here from Eric. He's leaving one for Lisa Marie for input and guidance on the new business strategy. And what you can do is go in and ask for a recommendation, and you can literally send a request to one of the people you're connected with on LinkedIn. You can also do your skills. I have my skills down here just as an example, and you can have them endorsed by your followers. So I have a skill in collaborative problem solving, endorsed by 9 colleagues. Leadership development, endorsed by 9 colleagues. These things will stand out to recruiters. And remember, it is okay and it is normal to ask for recommendations and endorsements. If you receive the support, return it. This is how you're going to connect with people on LinkedIn and really make a difference for your profile. I want to thank you for taking time today to join me for this quick 15-minute video as a general overview for LinkedIn. More in-depth videos will be coming your way soon. Thank you!